We had a question from two constituents on the same topic, Kyle. Rural internet and how we can do better in Dufferin-Caledon, if you would like to speak to that.
Yeah, rural internet is an exceptionally challenging issue all across not only Caledon but my entire riding of Dufferin-Caledon. If everyone will indulge me for just a few minutes, I'm going to get into some of the difficulties. Um, so often there's different ways to access broadband. You can access it through fiber, you can access it through cellular, in fact, which is what happens in a lot of the rural areas. So I'm going to quickly first talk about cellular. Part of the challenge we have in Caledon is that the bandwidth auctions that take place for cellular service, Caledon gets lumped in with larger areas like Brampton, Mississauga, and the GTA when those spectrums go up for auction. And what happens is that the large telecom companies, Bell, Telus, Rogers, they buy up all that spectrum auction, and then they develop the more urban areas of that area because it's far more profitable. And so this is one of the reasons why Caledon has exceptionally poor sort of cellular service in a lot of areas. And even if you try and go through cellular, it's a challenge. Now, that being said, there have been some great initiatives through SWIFT, which has just brought some new fiber and broadband going into Caledon. There's going to be a large expansion into Dufferin. My personal belief, and I have had these conversations with Mayor Thompson, is that we have to view access to high-speed broadband as an essential service. We have to look at this much like when we decided almost 100 years ago that electricity, maybe it wasn't 100 years ago, 60 years ago, when we decided that electricity was an essential service, and we decided to build the network of electricity all across the province so that anyone who wanted to have electricity would be able to get electricity. I think we need this kind of vision in order to effectively build out the infrastructure across our rural areas in order to have broadband access. Our Conservative Party has put forward a very bold proposal on internet services, and I can't get into all the details now, but first of all, that involves having a different way to sell off wireless spectrum so that smaller companies can compete for that. And therefore, a lot of the smaller companies in Caledon and Dufferin just can't outbid the big ones, and therefore they don't get the spectrum. So that's one of the ways we look at it. We also have to look at, with respect to fiber, we have to find cheaper and more innovative ways to get the cable out across all the areas. And some smaller provinces like New Brunswick, they've decided to string their cable along hydro poles instead of having to dig it into the ground. It works, it's cheap. But right now we've got some resistance from, I always forget if it's Hydro One or Ontario Power Generation that has the lines, but we have to have a all three level government approach to trying to fix this problem. And right now we have these little, I call them one-off deals where the federal government puts some programs out. They're designed in such a way that generally the big telecom companies are able to get those contracts to expand fiber networks, and then they build it just to the millimeter of the funding and not beyond. So we have to reshape how we offer these contracts and find ways to get smaller, more innovative companies that want to do it. We also have to work with the province and Ontario Hydro, for example, to look at innovative ways like stringing fiber along hydro poles. If anyone's actually interested in our proposal, please send me an email after the town hall, kyle.seaback@parle.gc.ca, and I'm happy to send you our entire proposal. It's about 12 pages. I think it's very innovative, and we talk about bringing broadband to all of rural Canada by 2025.